Pasakay kami ng boat. Maglalakbay.
We are here, we're queuing for a boat ride. Today we booked it earlier, something like that, or like 10 for the ride of the boat. So I think it's going to be a good experience for us. Hello, we have a visitor back. And yeah, we're enjoying the day at the moment. It's our second day now in Bournemouth, and we're going to stay here until Friday. So that's it. We're about to go on board in a small boat and a boat.
cruise around the bay. As we make way from Bournemouth Pier, please listen to the important safety announcement. In the very unlikely event of an emergency at sea, you'll be notified by means of a signal consisting of 7 or more short blasts, followed by 1 prolonged blast on the ship's whistle. In this event, we would like you to remain calm and seated and await further instruction from a member of crew. Life jackets can be found underneath the seats in the main saloon. Donning instructions are posted around the vessel for your attention. Buoyant apparatus on board includes 2 self-inflating life rafts up on the saloon roof. Each of those can accommodate 65 persons in the water. There are also float-free life rafts on the after deck. They each support 14 persons. Firefighting equipment can be found at centre points around the vessel, and all emergency exits are clearly shown above the sliding windows and doors in the main saloon. For your comfort and convenience, there are ladies and gents toilets towards the rear of the main saloon. Also in the main saloon, of course, is the fully licensed bar, which is now open, serving teas, coffees, beers, wines, spirits, soft drinks, and a selection of
What do you want me to say? It's a bit, it's hot now.
As we make our way around the bay, I'll point out a few places of interest for you. Bournemouth has 7 miles of golden sandy beach, stretching from Hengistbury Head in the east to Alum Chine in the west. 4 blue flag beaches, 2 to the east of Boscombe at Southbourne and Fisherman's Wharf, and 2 here to the west of Bournemouth Pier at Durley and Alum Chine.
Katie, stand there. Katie.
The word chine is a local word meaning wooded valley leading to the sea. It's only used along this stretch of coast and on the southern shores of the Isle of Wight.
We have to pay the card.
The first of the chines, just here on the right, is Durley Chine.
You took us. You took us.
Oh yeah. So we're paying per ticket now. How much is it? So you pay for it? Each. 1 each. How much? £20. I mean, we'll pay 1 each. 1 each? Yeah. That's right. Ready? It should be any second. Yep, now. Thank you. Yep, so what should you do? £10, please.
We're now passing Middle Chine, so named as it's in the middle of the 3 chines to the west of Bournemouth Pier, within the borough of Bournemouth. If you take a wander up into Middle Chine, you'll see an ornamental garden in remembrance of Robert Louis Stevenson, the famous author. He lived in a house known as Skerryvore, which was previously on the site of the garden, named after his favourite lighthouse up on the west coast of Scotland. His family, of course, the Stevensons, were famous for their lighthouse design and construction. Whilst living here in Bournemouth, Robert wrote the book A Strange Tale of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Just passing Alum Chine now, so named as there are large deposits of the mineral alum in the cliff faces. Take a walk up into Alum Chine and you'll see a small suspension bridge spanning the chine. It was from that bridge as a young boy that Winston Churchill fell whilst playing a game of hide and seek with his friends. He fell some 30 feet to the bottom of the chine, breaking several bones, and was unconscious for 3 days in a local hospital. Had his injuries been worse, who knows, the whole face of history might have changed.
I'm going to bring on jet ski right now, and then we race the car.
Just behind the blue roof kiosk is Branksome Dean Chine. That marks the boundary between the boroughs of Bournemouth and Poole. The very last house in Bournemouth, at the top of the sandy cliffs here, just on the corner, used to belong to singer-entertainer Max Highgraves. Max lived there for over 50 years. Back during World War II, the house was used by RAF Coastal Command as a lookout. They had a large gun emplacement at the end of the garden. Both General Eisenhower and Winston Churchill stayed at the house during the run-up to Operation Overlord, the invasion of Normandy in 1944. Training exercises for which took place on these beaches and the beaches over at Studland ahead of us to the left. On the 6th of June 1944, 300 landing craft left Poole for the beaches of Utah and Omaha on the Normandy coast, 58 miles across the English Channel, away to our left. Just passing Branksome Chine here. The large building that you see in the centre of the car park there is the old solarium, built in 1908. It's now a fine restaurant with a terrace bar up above, enjoying splendid views out over the bay. There's also a very nice walk from here up through Branksome Chine, up to the area of Poole known as Pen Hill, around 2 miles further inshore. You'll notice 2 sets of steps here, zigzagging their way to the top. There used to be a convent at the top of the cliffs here. The nuns were not permitted to use the same steps as the general public, so they constructed their own. They're now known as the ladies' steps here to the right.
Oh, would you like any refreshments? No worries, thank you. Oh, would you like any refreshments?
Do you want, Eric?
Do you want?
Oh, we're okay.
No worries. Oh, would you like any refreshments? No worries. Oh, would you like
We're now passing a very prestigious part of Poole known as Branksome Park. It's so posh here, even the seagulls fly upside down. Most properties worth well in excess of £1 million.
You can buy one.
Just passing Camford Cliffs Chine here, which leads up to the village of Camford Cliffs and also the world famous gardens of Copperton, where there are 7 ornamental gardens, each representing a different country of the world. One of note is the Japanese garden, which has won many awards. It was designed and constructed by a Japanese work team at the end of the First World War. It's reputed to be the finest Japanese garden outside of Japan. You'll notice just here there was a serious landslip 5 years ago. Many thousands of tons of sand descended down onto the promenade, along with the road that runs along the top in front of those houses. Engineers have managed to reconstruct the cliff, and they've placed a huge black net over the soft sand and introduced various plants and grasses which will help to knit the soil together and resist further erosion. Just passing the last of the chines now. This one's known as Flag Head Chine. It's just to the right of those white beach bungalows. Known as Flag Head Chine as there used to be a Coast Guard station at the top of the cliffs here, displaying flags to incoming ships to aid navigation into Port Harbour. You may also notice a very large red brick building behind the trees there. That's the local sanatorium, St Anne's Hospital. Over to the right now you can see the Sandbanks Peninsula, a narrow strip of land which provides a natural breakwater for Port Harbour, often referred to as the Golden Mile. Many famous people have lived on the Golden Mile over the years, including Manzabani, Gracie Fields and Victor Sylvester, the band leader, Roger Moore and Warren Mitchell, the actors. Living here at the moment include King of the Jungle and star of EastEnders, Harry Redknapp, and Graham Souness, who used to play for Liverpool, Rangers and Scotland. In terms of real estate, the Sandbanks Peninsula is the 3rd most expensive place in the world to live, behind Tokyo and Manhattan. A very narrow entrance, just 300 metres wide. But the harbour itself is the second largest natural harbour size. If you want entrance all the way around every inch of coastline to the other side. And St Paul's Cathedral in London. At the end of the Purbex you can see Handclasp Point and Old Harry Rocks. Old Harry himself is the stack of chalk at the seaward end, named after Paul's most notorious pirate, Harry Payne. He sailed these waters back in the 15th century and was very well known for his antics mid-channel, capturing French and Spanish ships. Next to Harry, if you look carefully, there's a small stump of rock